Welcome back, fellow Illumineers, to be our guest. It is a wonderful time. Is it a sad time? It is our last video of the series before our quick tips tomorrow. Our last guest, but maybe we saved the best for last because we've got a couple of wonderful guests with us this evening. Please say hello, Willow, Mr. Burns, aka Dick Burns. Say hello. How are you doing?
Hello. Thank you so much for having us. This is awesome.
I apologize that the energy is really high at the start. I assure you it mellows out throughout. There's peaks and valleys, but, you know, it mellows out a little bit.
Oh, not with the two of us, okay? We're ready to fight all day long, okay? Energy's staying through the roof.
Okay, I got you. We can pivot here. So, welcome back, everyone. We're going to be doing our last of the set reviews. We're tackling everything from 6 cost and above. Hopefully you've checked out the rest of the videos by now. If you haven't, pause this, go back and watch those, and then come back and check this one out. But we're going to be going through everything from a limited perspective for your sealed pools, for your draft events, so that you are ready for your pre-release weekend events, so that you can crush them, you can have a good time, and come out feeling great about it. Before we get into that, I'd love to give the stage back to our guests for just a moment to tell you a little bit about themselves and where they can find you, or the other way around.
Yes. Hello. I will start. So my name is Willobeez. Also go by Willow. So excited to be here. Grateful to be here with my channel partner as well, Mr. Burns, but he'll introduce himself in a second. But we're together on a YouTube channel called Chronicles. And in terms of limited, I have played, once every set. I try to, go to the pre-release and play some limited. Usually sealed is my preferred over draft. But I will say what I'm excited to be on this series for is because I'm not a very good builder, like a deck builder for this kind of stuff. And I know the rules are a lot different. So while I really enjoy the gameplay, I'm actually excited to learn from the two of you a lot to kind of understand why a card I think is good on the surface might not actually be good. So thanks for having me. I'll pass it over to Mr. Burns now.
Love it.
Yeah, so Mr. Burns, one half of Lore Chronicles, the worst half, of course. But, I'm here to embarrass myself talking about Limited because I've watched your videos before, and we disagree a ton. Actually,
all right, let's get into it.
So much, and I think I love Limited in any game I play because it's something that you don't have to already own anything, and you can engage with the game. So I think Limited is so important to the vitality of any trading card game. So yeah, let's get into it.
Awesome. All right, I feel like this is going to be a fiery episode. I'm excited. Let's get into it. I love a good debate. We're trying to keep this one short, and Dick, you've just set the stage for a much longer video. All right. Well, before we get into the reviews, let's send it back to past Heath to talk you through how we grade these cards. Take it away, Heath. All right, so what are we talking about in terms of these rating systems? How are we rating these cards today? We're talking about a scale from A through F. I'm going to be giving plus or minuses for A through C to give a little bit of nuance, a little bit of leveling to it, but we're going to be talking about A through F. I'm going to be speaking to these in terms of draft picks, but for my sealed brethren, I want you to think about this and interpret this as what are my auto includes when I see them in my pool, down to what are the cards that I might want to be cutting from my sealed pool. A picks are going to be your bombs. First pick, you see it in a pack, you're slamming it down. You're really lucky if you see more than one of these in a pack because they're so slim. Most sets have 5, maybe 6 of these in the entire set. These are the cards that you may end up wanting to build your whole deck around because they're so impactful. Your Bs are your foundation of a winning deck. Yes, the bombs are more powerful, but again, they're few and far between. So really, it's the Bs that you're relying on to build a winning deck. You might even say that you can look at a deck and see how it's going to perform based on the number of Bs. These are your solid removal, your solid characters, the things that are going to impact the game heavily, but maybe don't rise to the level of a bomb. These you're going to want to find in your first 4 picks. There are some sets where these are slim enough that you're probably talking realistically top 2 or 3 picks, but hopefully you can find these in your top 4 picks. All right, your C are your filler cards, from the top C plus being highly playable down to C minus being I might want to cut these cards. These are your role players. These are the cards that, okay, maybe they're probably not drawing a card, they're probably not removal unless it's really bad removal. These are your role players. These are the subpar vanillas. These are your average bodyguards like we see here. These are the type of cards that you're gonna play in your deck, but you're hoping to slim these down as much as possible. Your D cards are the cards you're hoping not to include in your deck. These are the cards you're going to find at the end of the pack. These are the cards that ideally are going to be inkable, because if they are sync to the level of being this bad and they're uninkable, they should probably just be F. These are typically the cards that are referred to as being niche playable. 10% of the time they might do something very effective, 5% of the time they might be great, but the rest of the time you just want to ink them. Which leaves our F, which is your uninkable, just trash, stay far away from these, don't even look at them. Typically, these are going to be your high-cost uninkables that might just rot in your hand for the entirety of the game and aren't significant enough to be worth the risk, right? So stay far away from these, burn them on sight. And we're back, just like magic.
Great job, Heath.
I know, right? Really well said. I thought so too. That's about the last thing that you're going to agree with me on, so all right. Let's get into it. Let's start with the first card. Willow, why don't you tell us what we're looking at first?
Absolutely. We've got a 6-cost uninkable Pumbaa Winter Warthog with a 5/6 stat line. When you play this character, each opponent chooses and discards a card, and he does quest for 2 lore. Let me know if I did that appropriately for the non-viewers at home. But I'm gonna say off the bat, my immediate feelings are like C tier, because we do enjoy drawing cards in Limited, but we might not have cards in hand to be able to discard. So that probably makes it lower. But also, I like the questing for 2. I like that he's a 5/6 as opposed to a 5/5, because I know sometimes now a lot of characters are 5/5, so you can challenge into those things. But maybe he's a little lower than C tier because he's uninkable, and you can only have like 5 or 6 of those.
Arguing with yourself, people.
This is part of the process.
I'm gonna say D ultimately, but I don't know. I want to learn from you guys.
All right. Well, you were the reader, so I was supposed to jump in first.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I ruined it.
No.
I'm so
the
sorry.
reader gives their thoughts first. That's
You're
okay.
the boss.
The reader gives their thoughts first. You're the first counterpoint or agreement, sir.
Oh, see, I was correct. Okay, so we're
Willow
already
was
fighting.
correct.
So give
This
me
is
your
why she's the boss.
counterpoints.
This is why she's the boss. So yeah, I gave this one an F. It's uninkable. It costs 6. It is about 2 stat points short of something that I would want to play anyway, and I don't think the uninkability and possibly discarding card was worth it clogging up my hand most of the game. So I gave this one an F.
I mean, Willow, you actually gave it an F too, because we forgot the one rule, which is if it's bad enough to be a D and it's uninkable, it's an F. So, you know what? I'm with you both on this. So this is a fantastic starting point, because in a vacuum, I would have this at C, because I think, 2 sets ago, this was a decent enough body, and you might discard something, especially if you're on the play. But the fact that there's so many good uninkables in this set, the ratio is actually pretty high for this set. I rate about 25% of the set being uninkables, and about 16% being quality uninkables, or at least playable uninkables. So you're going to be tempted a lot, so you don't really want a 6-drop clogging up your hand when, for example, there's tons of great 4-drop uninkables that you're going to want to play. So, yeah.
Well, I want to add, I forgot that uninkables are... I forgot a lot of things. I just remembered that this is limited, so I was like, oh, this card's and then I was like, okay, so I'm back now. My opinions are going to be much better.
Hey, no, that was a great... You were right in my mindset, which is start with the C, but adding in the uninkability, it's like,
Because I kind of... We can talk about this throughout. I don't really want any 6-drops usually. Like, they have to be really good to be in my limited deck. So maybe that's a take. So
I'm with you too. This is gonna be tough for you, but I think there is definitely some worth playing.
Maybe we'll flesh that out, but usually I stop at around 5 if I can. But anyways, I'm sorry. I just had to add that in.
No, we can actually talk about that right now if you don't mind. Because I come from a card game where 42% of your deck is just an ink. Right?
Yeah.
We're not going to name the card game right now. But, yeah, so I'm actually of the mindset where I want, 14 of my 35 cards cost 5 or more.
Wow.
That's a take.
I want them
This is why
equal.
we disagree so much.
Yes. This is exactly where we disagree. I don't want to play 1-drops. Maybe in this set I would play Hercules or any shift targets. So I want I want the discipline to be like, listen, if these are in my opening hand, I'm going to ink them, and I'm going to draw them constantly throughout the game, I'm going to get to 5 or 6 ink, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to play a Haymaker every single turn. Some formats that doesn't work out, you just get out-tempoed. But this might be one where it does work out. So, yeah. That's where I'm coming from when I evaluate these cards.
The 1-drops are getting less impactful every set, for sure. But I still think there's enough quality 2 through 5 that I think if you had a significant portion of your deck 6 and above, that in the right field, you're probably getting out tempo. But again, that's my style. This is my bias. I'm putting it out there that that's my bias. All right, let's keep going for the sake of time. But I feel like this will come up again. That's why I feel like we can move on. All right.
So Lilo Rockstar, 6 costs, Inkable, 3/5, Shift 4, Quest for 2. When this character quests, you may play a character with cost 2 or less from your discard for free. And I gave this Lilo a C if you have shift targets. If you've already drafted, like, let's say, I don't know how often you talk about this, if you're in like pack 3 or 4,
yeah,
I can see this being a C. If I open this in pack 1, it's gonna be an F from me. It's just such a low impact. You're basically giving up this character when you quest for it, just to get something that costs 2 or less back. Yeah, I am going to be hard-pressed to play this if I'm not shifting it on turn 4 or 5, and I'm in some kind of, like, moderately aggressive strategy.
Sure. Okay, Willow, what do you think?
Can I ask, how important is that in terms of, like, which pack it is? Because I actually think he brought up a great point.
Well, I mean,
just
so we're talking about sealed and draft, right? So in sealed, you either have them or you don't, right? You've either got the Lilo shift targets. But quite frankly, I don't really love the Lilo shift targets for limited anyway.
Sure.
And I also don't love shifting because you put yourself down a card. So you've got to get really good impact out of the ability to shift to make it worthwhile, I think.
Yeah, I would say this one's probably a D for me. Just because, like, it's expensive, but it's inkable. But there is some setup in order to get that payoff, and then you have to, like, find the 2-cost characters, and, like, have more of them in your deck. Which, if you're Mr. Burns, sounds like you don't want a lot of them.
Right, I was gonna say that's why he's got it at F. He doesn't want any 2-drops in his deck. Yeah, I've got this at D as well. I think any character that quests for 2 is probably at least deserves a D, if it's inkable. And yeah, you're probably not going to have many impactful 2s out there. But if you draw this, late game, you're not going to want to play it on 6. You're going to want to ink it until you're top decking turn 8 or 9. And then you get 2 lore out of it. You distract your opponent's biggest character for a turn to challenge it back. And hopefully you got a 2-cost to come out of the discard for free to quest some more. Hopefully a 2 lore 2-cost. So all in all, I think, every once in a while it's going to be worthwhile. But most of the time it's ink. Alright, Widow Tweed. 6-cost uninkable, 2/8, 2 lore. When you play this character, return a character card from your discard to your hand, and oh my goodness, if that character is named Todd, you may play him for free. Let's be frank, you're probably not going to have a Todd in your discard. There's one that you definitely want to draft, one that we'll talk about today that may be, but for the most part, you're probably not going to have Todd in your discard. But regardless, getting a 2/8, 2 lore body and a character back from my discard, and by the time I'm playing this on 6, maybe I'm getting a 4 or 5 drop back from my discard, or if I hold this onto this a little bit, if I can, maybe get something really impactful out of my discard, that's pretty good. I'm relatively happy with that. I'm not, like, over the moon about that, but I have this in the, like, C+, B- territory. Let's go to Dick. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, so assuming you have Todd in your pool, I put this as a C. If I don't, it's an F. That was my... With
all your 6-drops that you want to be getting back, and you're not valuing Widow Tweed. Okay.
Nope, I want the inkable ones.
I'm waiting for the 6-drops you do like.
That's
Keep waiting. No, I'm just kidding. I actually agree with Mr. Burns here. I was gonna say D, but because of the rule, it has to go into F because, odds are you're not seeing Todd, and even if you do,
oh no, disregard the Todd line.
Yeah, I just don't. I think it's just too slow. Because it costs 6, right? So by that point in limited, you just don't have a ton of ink either. So I
just value the card advantage. Like, getting back a character from my discard and getting a 2/8 2-lore body on top of that. The uninkability is problematic, but when I'm thinking of uninkables in this set, this is pretty high on top of the ones that I want to look at least in terms of the high ink cost. There's going to be a lot of temptation, so that's why I don't have this higher, but my gosh, getting back a 5-drop from your discard with a 2/8 2-lore body attached is pretty good.
My counterpoint for you, like more like to ask your philosophy.
I love counterpoints, yes.
Would be like, so imagine you play this and you have no other cards in hand, right? Like, and so you draw something off the top of your deck. Like I guess I don't see what could be your best scenario to then play, because one, you're probably not gonna be able to play it this turn, and a lot of times this late in the game, you're probably dead on board. If like, you know what I mean? Like, it depends on your board state.
This is where it depends on your board position, because unlike Mr. Burns, I'm playing the early game, so I'm either ahead on lore or controlling the board depending on the way that the game's played out.
So for you, this is like set up into the next thing.
Exactly.
I see.
Right?
I've pulled me back on Tweed.
I've stabilized the board, right? And now I'm looking for value. When I'm at, basically 3, 4, 5, 3 and 4 is where I want to control the board. 5 is where I want to establish a threat. 6 and above, and not just cost, but turns, is where I want to start getting value. I want to get value earlier, but I need to start getting value at that point, right? Because otherwise I'm in the top deck battle, right? This is my way of avoiding that top deck battle as long as humanly possible. And again, I'm talking C plus B minus territory. That's high playable into low kind of foundation card. But I would have this higher if it was inkable. If this was inkable, this might be like a B plus.
Oh, for sure.
For me. So the uninkability brings it down, but it's a strong enough effect that I think it's worth the uninkable slot. But Mr. Burns, you said that we might have swayed you a little bit.
Yeah, it's got to be a C.
Okay. I agree. I think if we can agree to put it like at the lowest of C, which obviously right now is going to be at the top, but like
we can we'll flex it as we go.
Yeah, I think my problem is when I'm going through these cards before we record it, I'm like reading the Todd thing, and it's like, oh, how often is that going to happen? It's like Elsa. It's like Ursula. Like, I played the 5-cost Ursula with no songs in my deck because I just wanted another Elsa. And I'm like, if you just remove that text, I haven't played with the card enough to be like, you can just remove that text.
Yeah, ignore that part. The first part's still pretty good.
Yeah.
I think back to the Ralph, the 7-cost that we had, I think in Shimmering Skies, that brought one back. And I like that, and I am very strict on 7-cost uninkables. I pretty much never run them, but it was impactful enough in a relatively slow set that I liked it. But yeah, we'll see where it lands in terms of the C category. But yeah, I'm fine to slot it in there. All right, Willow.
All right, I hope I say this right. Morgana Macabre is a 6-cost inkable. 6/6 stat line, shift 4. When you play this character, you may choose an opposing character and move 1 damage from each other character to them. This quest for 1. Okay, this is tough. I want to hear from you guys a little bit more, but I do like the idea of moving damage, because I know in limited there's a potential for a lot of wide board states, so you can kind of do a little bit of a dance where you challenge some things with your other characters in order to then maybe play this to move all of the damage, similar to what's the card I'm thinking of, 4-cost action. Mr. Burns, you played it. It's got Hades on it. Everybody's got a weakness.
Yeah, everyone's got a weakness.
Similar to everybody's got a weakness, but then you have a beefy body that comes out of it. I'm still, I think, C tier, sorry, everything's a 6 drop, so I'm hesitant, but I would definitely say it's like higher C, like C plus, and I would listen to an argument for a D, or excuse me, a B, but I don't know, school me here. What do you guys think?
Sir, what do you think?
So I gave this one a B plus.
Nice.
Okay.
If it quested for 2, I'd give it an A.
Ooh.
I think the shift is irrelevant unless your opponent is just absolutely clueless. Because you're not going to shift onto a 5/3 unless for some reason your opponent quested with a 2-power character, and then you got to, basically heal it. But yeah, I also think it's unrealistic that you're going to move more than 1 or 2 damage, but still just inkable 6/6 that even if you do get to move some damage, that's extra value. if it quested for 2, I would say I would give an A with my play style. But
so interesting that you said you think that you're only moving 1 or 2 damage. Knowing that the new vanilla stat line is a 5 cost 6/7 or 7/6, and you still feel like paying the 1 extra ink, losing 1 of the stat points, and only moving 1 or 2 damage is sufficient to make this valuable for you.
Yes, I love it.
Okay.
I also put I would put a 5 cost 6/7, so I would put the one from Whispers as a B+.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah, fair enough. I mean, I have that as, I think, as a B or B-. But anyways, so
I want to see board stalls, and I want to create the board stalls and go.
The problem I have is if your board's stalled and they're healthy on both sides, then she doesn't come down on 6 very effectively.
Right.
So the problem that I have is, and this is a kind of a recurring theme for me, is this: what's the setup cost, right? And when I've got a card like Belle that moves a significant amount of damage from a single character, the setup cost is a lot easier to manage, right? I only have to have one character that has to survive a challenge, and I just got to make sure that I get enough damage on it to make it worthwhile. Whereas this, I need to have multiple characters surviving challenges to be able to get any kind of value out of her. Moving 1 damage, 2 damage maybe, but moving 1 damage isn't really accomplishing much of anything. I'd need to move probably 3 damage before I would value her anywhere close to where you guys have. I have her as a mid-C.
So, counterpoint, you don't see, like... You don't... Because most of the time, she is only... Like, you're only going to see her, like, once, right? In your packs or your whatever, because she's a rare. So, in that case...
rarity too much.
Well, it just in terms of, like, it's not like you're going to, like... Well, I guess maybe that's what you're saying, is because, like, if she is, like, a B, you might want to, you know, pull... Like, not pull, but, like, take more of her. But I think, like, as a one-of, where, like, sometimes she's going to come up in some of your games where you know, do, like, are able to break a stall, it's not bad. I don't know, like, I agree maybe that I don't want, like, more than 1.
Yeah.
But... I don't know.
Yeah. So
Willoughby, so
if it's in the B territory, you want as many as you can get. Usually.
Okay.
Like B is your like top 15% of the set, right? It's your top like 2 to 4 picks, right? In a draft or in a sealed pool, it's going to be your top 15% of your pool, right?
Sure.
So A's is usually like the top 5 cards of the set. And B is usually, again, that top, like, 15% of the set, right? So I agree playable, but I just, again, I don't know that you're going to get more than what you were saying, Dick, more than 1 or 2 damage out of her moving. And that necessitates them having a decent character that's only got 1 or 2 willpower left.
Okay.
Right? That's going to be the setup cost.
Or it lets you take, let's say, like a 4/1 and run it into something that had 5 health.
Again, there's going to be situations. It's going to be usable, for sure. I just don't know how usable. So it sounds like, based on last assessment card and yours that you wanted above here, and for the sake of democracy, willing to, but I'm on the record as saying I would value Widow Tweed substantially higher.
I'm also fine with being wrong about every card and you putting it wherever you want. This is your show.
No. This is our... No, sir. This is our video. I will not stand by that. All right. Sir, you get a good one.
I'm on Lumpy?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Lumpy is a 6/5 evasive 4/6. It is inkable. It quests for 2. And I'm giving this one A.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a common. I want 7 of these in my deck.
Wow.
This is the best card in the set for me.
for your sealed pulls.
For limited
pulls,
strapped, sealed. Yeah. This
I would
break my rule for. So I normally want only like between like 3 to 5 6+ drops. I would have 7 in my deck if I could.
Yeah.
I agree. He's awesome.
A 4-cost uninkable is what banishes this straight up.
Yeah, there's literally 2 cards in the set that deal with this.
Yeah, and then Let It Go puts in your inkwell. So it's
Yeah, evasive anything, right? Just like it's a bump up. So I'm with you guys. This is awesome.
It quests for 2. It's got a big body, so you can challenge into their 4/4 and then quest for 2 after that. Like, assuming they don't have Morgana. but like it does everything.
And he's beautiful.
If it would cost 5 and was like a 5/4 or a 4/5, I might love it more, but it's still amazing. I'm scared to play against it. All right. We've got a reprint here of Pumbaa. Pretty much. We've got Mickey Mouse, Snowboard Ace, 6 cost uninkable, 4/6, 2 lore. When you play this character, when he leaves play, each opponent chooses and discards a card. Can we just put him next to Pumbaa?
Yeah, get him out of here.
I do want to say, though, this is probably the first draft format or sealed format. Well, not sealed because they've always had it, where sideboard might matter.
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
if
you're in a game where you're throwing haymakers and your opponent's throwing haymakers and you're not winning early, this can just snipe the last card in their hand.
I agree 100%. Yes, I would look to fit this or Pumbaa in my deck if my opponent was playing a slower deck. The other thing that I'll say is you've got to keep in mind, even though we don't want these in our deck, you've got to keep in mind that these are out there, one at common, one at uncommon. So you've got to be careful when your opponent's about to go up to 6 ink and you've got 1 card left in hand. You might want to consider the implications of that with how your turns are going to play out.
Yeah, that's I could see some like people who aren't as invested in limited as you guys like playing this because they you know what I mean, like I see people all the time where like there's a rule where you shouldn't play, let's say, items like in back in a couple of limited sets ago versus like and people would still do it, right, even if it's not like a character and you just want to quest. So I could see where there are some people or some players that like will kind of, I called it like a trap because I think the three of us are in agreement that we ultimately wouldn't play this, but I could see people falling into this like very common trap where they see something like that and they're like, oh, discarding is good in limited, so I should prioritize this, which I think is just interesting to mention.
So I like discarding when I can time it right to get my opponent's last card out of their hand in the early turns. But the chances are that you can time it right at a time where you've got Pumbaa, at a time where you can play him, or Mickey Mouse, because I would prefer Pumbaa than Mickey Mouse. It's just so uncommon. But I will say, if you're playing sealed, and this is your only uninkable, Pumbaa or Mickey Mouse, I would probably play them. Like, if I'm not worried.
Sealed's usually like a turn slower because you haven't crafted your deck.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. So these would jump. So this is where my D rule kind of breaks things a little bit. I would jump this from both of these from an F to a C. If I'm low on uninkables, and especially in sealed, I might consider it just with the nature of it being slower.
10-4. Okay, I'm taking this one. We've got Copper on the scent is an 8/5 stat line, a 6 cost inkable with Rush and Reckless. I have to say, I think historically Rush is like one of the best keywords for limited. So that makes me a lot happier with this card, especially that he swings for 8. I think that, and because he's inkable, I think you can put this at a, well, I don't know. I think you can put it at a B, but maybe you guys will I'm still learning the tiers. Like maybe you don't want to grab him literally every time, but in terms of like for being, you know, like having Rush, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't quest for lore. I didn't know if I said that for the viewers at home.
That's okay. Hopefully with Reckless they've got that.
So I put this in a C. It's like it's always going in my deck. I'm not going to prioritize it over other things, but Rush is actually incredibly rare in this set, and so is Removal. So it's a bad removal spell. If you know, because character has to be exerted already, and it already got some value, either it challenged your character or it quested. If you can banish something and this lives, it's kind of a nightmare for your opponent, because where they got to do, they're just going to have to rush something else into it, and then it's a 2-for-1. But yeah, I'm not going to like take this over many other cards. So it's a C for me.
I'm more with Willow on this one. Strictly because for me, this is a card that you have to be a little disciplined with, which is to say that you want to create the situation that Dick just implied, which is your opponent's got 2 exerted characters. One of them's a 5/5, one of them's a 4/4, and maybe others as well, but your 2 best options. Run it into the 4/4. Because I would much rather get a 2-for-1 out of this than get my opponent's biggest character. Which is why I would be so much happier if this was a 6/7 or a 7/6 than an 8/5. But I'll take what I can get. I've got this at a B- because, like you said, removal is slim. and you can get a 2-for-1. I don't like the 3-1 rush, for example. I think it's relatively useless, but it's fine. But at 8-5, I can get rid of their 3 to 4 drop, and then hopefully trade for another 2 through 4 drop after that. So having this in my deck, I'm going to try and control the board a little bit more so that they don't have the option of running back their 2 drop into my copper, that they've got to run back a 4 drop or a 5 drop to take him out after I've taken out their 3 or 4 drop. But yeah, I think he's going to be perfectly serviceable, especially in a set that is really lacking for removal.
Yeah. I think majority rules on B there, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Moving on. Ugh. Sorry, Dick.
All right, we've got a legendary 6-cost Inkable 5/5 Elsa, Shift 4, Quest for 1. When this character and whenever you play a location, you may exert chosen character with 3 strength or less, and while this character is at a location, she gets +3 lore. Yeah, so I gave this one a D. Let me see. Yep. Yep, so I gave this one a D. Maybe you snipe a character that costs 4.
Yep.
And then you trade up, but like mostly it will probably hit something that's cost 2.
Yeah.
And then you just have like this 5/5 that you paid 6 for. That only quests for 1. I think the location effects are basically irrelevant. So you can okay. I was gonna say
Agreed.
you can tell me how dumb I am.
No, I think locations are pretty. There's one location in this set that I actually like. The one that can gain evasive. But otherwise, yeah, no. Is it that one? Or is it no, it's the one that bounces back to your hand when it's banished. I can't remember. Anyways, there's one location at 4 drop that I like. But otherwise, no. And I think that one might even be a rare, so you're not going to see them together. And yeah, this is fairly useless. Willow, do you have any contradictory points before we...
I'm with you guys.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that second line, it'd be like the least of D's, but at least that second line's marginally usable. All right. Mickey Mouse, Tiny Tim's father, Inkable, 6-drop, 6/7, 2 lore vanilla. Yeah, I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. I think that there's probably things that I'd rather be doing at 6 than just a 6/7, 2 lore body, but like it does pretty well. There's a 5-drop that'll take this out. That's common, but yeah, I'm perfectly happy with this. I've got it in that C+, B- territory.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's also like C+ for me. Because you don't really need like text in limited as much.
Oh yeah.
And the 6/7 is nice. When a lot of these are like 5/6s. So
6/7. Someone had to do it. Yeah, I gave this a B. I mean, this is like exactly what I'm looking for when I play. Just I want to draw things that quest for 2 and probably need 2 characters to be dealt with.
Yep. You know what's gonna happen is I'm gonna have my 2/8 that's gonna get back another character so that I've got 2 characters to deal with this. All right, so I think we're in this territory. This is one where it could slide up if we all of a sudden get a dearth of C's, but somewhere in the B- to C+ territory, I think is perfectly serviceable. All right.
Okay, we've got Scrooge McDuck, which is a 4/6, 6-cost Inkable, Shift 4, Quest for 2. When you play this character, you may put a card from the top of your deck face down under each of your other characters. If you do, those characters gain ward until the start of your next turn. I think that this is a cool ability. I just don't think it's ever really going to be relevant because, like we mentioned, not a lot of removal in this set. And then having like a 4 attack versus, everything else having a 5/6 is a little tough. So I think because it's inkable, it shouldn't be put in F, but I'm not very high on this card. So I think it's a D.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave it a D. I'm never going to shift. I'd actually rather draft the other Scrooge over it. So there's no way I'm going to cover it up with this one. Yeah. I think ward is mostly going to be irrelevant in limited.
Yeah. So right there with you. The one thing I'll say is if you've got a sealed pool with a bunch of boost in it that you want to play, I can't say this enough. Don't play bad cards because they're synergistic. Play good cards first, but if they have synergy, great. So I would actively be playing this in a deck with a substantial amount of boost, especially like later game boost, like a Pete or a Bambi, maybe even a Jiminy Cricket, but definitely the later game boost that I might play like the turn or two before this, rather than like a 2-cost or a 1-cost boost. That's probably banished by the time this comes out. But yeah, I think that overall, especially in draft, like you should not pick this highly. Again, if it's pack 4 and you've got some really good boost characters in your deck, then yeah, I'd probably put him in. But know that there's a good amount of time where you're just going to be inking him, so don't take him highly. If you got a Lumpy in there, just take Lumpy, even if you've got boost.
True.
All right, we're into the 7s.
I can't wait to read this one. 7-cost Inkable, 6/8, quest for 3. And you made an example out of this a couple times. I saw people in your comment section weren't happy about it.
Specifically, the friend of mine that I called out wasn't happy about it.
I didn't comment, but I'm one of them because I'm giving this one a B+.
Okay.
I remember in Super Sealed, the 7-cost 7/7 quest for 3 was an absolute all-star at Worlds. And
yeah, but Super Sealed, they had a lot more consistent decks that had removal and could make it to turn 7.
Yeah. So we need to do a draft pod together. I think that would be a fun video.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me it's a B+, and you two can out democracy.
So before I go off the rails, Willow, would you like to share your thoughts?
I think that 7 is so expensive. 6/8 is nice. Questing for 3 is nice. I just don't think I'm ever gonna put this in my deck over like other things. So if we're considering in the general limited pool, like yeah, this is gonna be like a D. Maybe of the like 6 and above cost though, I can afford it to Mr. Burns and put it at a C of the like high cost cards. You know?
I will say of the 7 and above that this is my favorite.
Yeah.
I've got it at a C-. I don't have it as unplayable. The reason I don't have it higher is 2 things. 1 is timing and 2 is investment. Which is to say, to get to 7 ink, like much like you, Willow, like the focus of my decks are from 3 to 5. Right? So to get from 5 to 7, I have to invest 2 cards for ink, assuming I don't have Jiminy Cricket, right? And he gets out, because even if I've got him, what are the chances he comes out? It's just not worth the investment versus 1 card less and I've got Mickey Mouse, right? A 6/7/2 lore versus a 6/8/3 lore, but I'm effectively drawing a card with Mickey Mouse, with Tawny Tim's dad. Like, the investment of the cost in inking up to 7 is problematic for me. And then the timing as well. If I'm at 15 lore and you start dropping cow after cow, it's too late. You've already lost. So just the amount of time and effort you're going to have to take to get to Space Cows is problematic. So let me give you an example. I had this exact same card. It was Chef Louis in the last set. I'd done a ton of drafts, and I had, I think, 2 or 3 pods where I had Chef Louis in my deck. And he got out 3 times, and one of them was because they used Fairy Godmother on me, and I managed to rip Chef Louis off the top, which was disgusting. But other than that, he was ink almost all the time. Like I said, he got out 2 times. One game, I just ridiculously ramped. I had the 2-drop Ichabod Crane into Mickey Mouse Detective into 2 quests with the 4-cost Ichabod Crane. So I actually only inked to 4 on that game. I got 7 ink otherwise. Actually, I only inked to 3. I got 7 ink without that. Wow. So it's just, for me, to rate it that highly means I'm missing out on good 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 drops to prioritize taking a 7 drop that I might not even get to before the game's over.
I'm with you.
Dick?
I see.
Can we go down to a C plus with you? We're still not going at C plus.
Oh yeah, you can
we
already,
bring you down to a C
outvoted
plus?
me. We can go with a C plus. Yeah, it's under. And then
we're both like D C minus. I'm not saying we're not putting it at C plus. I'm saying have we brought you down to value?
Sorry, I meant C. Yeah, but see, am just in so many games where the board is so clogged, and I know it shouldn't be. I know that there's some sort of mistake that has happened, right? I even see it in Constructed. I'm looking at, two decks, and they're just staring at each other, and I'm like, one of you made a major mistake here.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not willing to admit I'm the one that made that mistake, but I get in so many clogged board states. It's hilarious. And then it just ends up being like, oh, I drew, my giant things, and you drew your, for some reason, one cost 2/2 vanilla.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have even been in your deck.
Yeah. So this is where I think it is worth calling out, because I hesitate to bring this up because it sounds like critiquing the audience, and I'm sorry, but it must be said. If you find yourself repeatedly in board states in limited games, there's a reason for that. And it is not
I just said that.
What cards you've played. It's you have to try and generate a way to break that stalemate. Yes, the cards that you put in your deck can contribute to that, but I'm constantly looking at, when the board state is, what can I quest with or force a situation where my opponent is feeling at ease with questing with something. Some way where something's turning sideways that starts the process of the board clearing a little bit. And I want to obviously be the one driving that, right? So can I quest with my 4/4 when they've got a 5/5 out and they challenge back, and I can clear it with my 1-drop that's left over, but everything else on their board doesn't threaten me. So they've got this one big threat that if I can clear that out of the way, all of a sudden I'm free to start questing freely, right? So bait them into something like that. And that's just one example of many different board states. This is why it's hard to kind of coach to that when there's infinite board states in Limited. But just if you keep finding yourself in board stalls that you can't break, and it just ends up eventually someone quests for 10 and, wins the next turn, there's something there that you want to be assessing. So try and kind of constantly be asking yourself, what could I have done to have broken that stalemate earlier?
I agree with you.
All right. I think this is on me.
Yes.
Shenpo, Snow Warrior, 7-cost Inkable, 7/7/3 lore. I would rather the 6/8/3 lore than this. A little bit more resilient with my 3 lore character. So I've got it below Space Cows.
Yeah, I think for me, we can put it right next to Space Cow, but below, like in terms of like how I feel about it. It's kind of just repeated, everything that we said before.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a matter of if you prefer the 7 strength or the 8 willpower. And all right, take it away, Willow.
Yes, this is Todd. 6/6 stat line, 7-drop Inkable, Shift 5 evasive, quests for 2, and twice during your turn. That's specific. Sorry. Twice during your turn. Not once, folks. Whenever this character is chosen for an action or an item's ability, you may ready him. For me, the text, other than the okay, I forgot that it was evasive. Other than the fact that this is evasive, this is very irrelevant to me. So I would actually put this, I guess because it's evasive, it goes above Space Cow, but I'm not very high on it. It's like a C for me.
Guess
what?
What do you think? Guess what? I love it.
We definitely need to do a draft pod so that I can beat you on turn 6.
Yes. That would be great content. Beating Mr. Burns. Because guess what? I'd first pick this baby. Pack one, pick one even. This is one of those shift characters that you are probably not going to 2-for-1 yourself. Because there's so few ways to deal with it, right? And it has like reasonable shift targets. The only time I'm going to play my 1-drops is if it's a shift target, right? And I, again, am fine with getting to 7 and just playing it. So I know you guys are going to put it right above Space Cows, and I am fine with that. But if this was just my list, A.
But you're paying Lumpy. 1 extra
Under
for
Lumpy.
Lumpy.
Worse than Lumpy.
You're paying 1 extra for Lumpy. Yeah, I mean, I've got him, like, around here.
Yeah.
I've got him below Mickey Mouse. Like, paying, again, it's not just a matter of it being one more ink. It's not like, oh, hey, it's coming out a turn later. It's I have to invest an additional card in a format where we're constantly running out of cards. I have to invest an additional card above Mickey Mouse to get evasive and one less willpower. I'd just rather stop inking on 6, play Mickey Mouse, and go to the races. Yeah, I don't know.
But the evasive's nice.
Content creator draft pod coming soon.
Yeah, that would be so fun.
If you could hook us up with some early products so we could do some webcam drafts somehow. Yes. I don't know how that's working.
That would be so fun.
We'll all be in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do something in Indianapolis for sure.
I've got plans to go to India if I can. I'm just going to be attendee this time. I'm done with the main event. I just want to draft the whole week.
Yeah, I was going to say you're just going to grind limited events. You're going to have a great time.
So much fun. Yeah, I mean, I see the implication here, but yes, I do feel like the text on the bottom might as well be nothing.
I just want to say this is so fun, having somebody on my side who has the same philosophy as me to help me explain myself better.
Meanwhile, Dick's getting 2-on-1 here, just tag team.
That's okay. He can handle it. He's very knowledgeable about limited, but for me, when he's just like, you're wrong, it's like now I have somebody so knowledgeable in you, Heath, to be able to be like, you know what? Here's why.
I got you. I got you.
Who's on Wreck-It Ralph? Is it me?
I think it's
you. It's you, yeah.
Okay, Wreck-It Ralph. 7 cost, uninkable. All right, F. Oh, wait, I have to read the rest. 7 cost, uninkable. 3 for quests for 3. Has boost 1. When this character gets +1 strength for each for each card under him. And when this character is banished, banish all characters with strength equal to or less than the strength he had in play. Yeah, so this is the traditional board wipe that they were talking about. And, this is why I think of that. All right, these legendaries aren't worth the money.
Oh my!
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yeah, I would put this below Pumbaa and Mickey Mouse easily.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. Oh, so much investment for that. All right, Tamatoa, Seeker of Shine. 7 cost, inkable, 6/6/1 lore with boost 2 and ward. Whenever you put a card under one of your characters or locations, this character gets +1 lore this turn. So effectively, you're spending 9 for a 6/6/2 lore to begin with. So this is a very low D for me. I would put this below Elsa.
I agree, 100%.
Well, guess what?
No way.
I said C, but...
What?
But he had Space Cows, to be fair, he had Space Cows at B, right?
Okay.
If we adjust the 7 cost
exactly. If we grade on a curve, I'm doing golden.
I mean, quite frankly, I am looking forward to someone playing 7 cost Tamatoa into 6 cost Scrooge.
That's the only consideration. But
for your legendary and super rare combo there.
That's the only thing, right? But the thing is that only happens when you're playing against Mr. Burns here, and like you said, we've just played a bunch of little guys and win the game the next turn.
You know what? If this was like a 5 cost 4/5 that had the rest of this text, and I could go Tamatoa into Scrooge, I might be tempted by that. But even if I had both of those cards in my pool, I would still cut Tamatoa and cut Scrooge depending on how many other boost characters I've got. It's just so bad.
And there's not that many boost characters at low rarities in this set.
No, there is not. Which is why I think overall the synergy... This is what I loved... when I could get off a synergy in Limited, but they're so few and far between because the design team isn't really leaning into them as much as I think they could. There's so many cards that never get played because they're not constructed viable and they're mid in Limited. Just cut those and just make more synergy cards for Limited, and the constructed players are going to be just as happy. They've still got their same 6 cards per set, and the Limited players are going to be so much happier.
Yeah, I feel like if it was super sealed, some of those things come up a bit more, like with the synergies, but that's the problem with super sealed for the average player that's not going to Worlds. Is kind of a little expensive, a little inconvenient, so...
Yeah, and you got 16 packs, your deck's going to be a heck of a lot more consistent. But yeah, I didn't play Super Seal. I would love to play it, but I did not play it in Richmond because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
All right.
Is this me?
Yeah.
Cool. We've got Li Shang, who is
I'm glad I'm not the only one who forgets.
Yeah. Li Shang is a 9/5. Okay, 7 cost inkable, shift 4, and quest for 2. Which we all learned is considered a French vanilla, but on the dev stage, he actually used the term, which I thought was funny. Okay, so I think for me, well, actually, Heath, knowledge check for me. How many shift targets does he have in this set?
He's got 1, and just don't shift him.
Okay.
He does. This character does not have shift.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to double check. I'm a little behind on my Winterspell lore.
Even if you've got him out, just don't shift him. Because yes, there is a 3-drop. You go 3, cost that, shift on 4, and you're like, great. But then they run their 4 cost 5/5 into or 5 strength character into it, and you're like, that felt bad.
This was a D for me anyways, but just in case I had to check in case he had some incredible shift target.
I got him around here because effectively he's questing for the same amount, and I get a little bit more value with Lilo. Do we have any contestation to that?
Guess what? No arguments. No arguments.
He got a 7-drop in the same spot.
If it was a 5/9, we'd talk differently.
Oh, 100%. If it was a 5/9, I'd have a bit more conversation, but yeah.
Yeah, people think like the amount of stats is what matters.
No.
If it was a 14-1, we still wouldn't want it.
Oh my gosh. If it was a 14-1, it'd be awful. Truly awful.
Yeah. So, anyway, we've got Darkwing Duck now. 7 cost inkable, 6/8, shift 5. During quest for 2, during your turn, whenever an item is banished, you may pay 1 to deal 2 damage to chosen character. This character can challenge ready villain characters. Where's Darkwing Duck here? It's a B for me, but I love me some space cows.
Fair enough.
Do you have this above or below space cows? I'm curious.
Space cows.
Okay, we need relativity now. Would you have this above or below space cows?
Above space cows.
But why? There's villains in the set, but not nearly enough.
Because I think that there are some shift targets that I would already put in my deck. And it is possible to just, basically unclog the board, trading 2 for 2. You're going down a card when you shift, you challenge, or you quest, and they have to run 2 cards into it. So, on top of the fact that I just want to draw, 6 and 7 drops in turn 14 and just keep playing.
So I'll give you the density of shift targets, but pretty much all of the Darkwing Ducks are bad. The 2 cost is like the best of them.
Yeah, the
2 cost 4/1 is like the best of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's not anything to write home about. 2 cost 4/1.
Aside from Willow, we'll just and not Willobeez. Aside from the Willow, we'll just cast her aside. I feel like the 4/1 is one of my favorite 2-drops because I want all of my 2-drops to make my opponent not want to quest.
But there's Negaduck, which is a 4/2. We've already established Ward is basically vanilla on it. Oh boy. Okay. Willow. Where do you rank Darkwing relative to Space Cows and Chenpo?
Definitely above space cows, but still C. Probably below.
You're gonna make me put this above Space Cows?
Willow?
Here I am defending Space Cows. I think it's worse than Space Cows. Give me that 6/8/3 lore, because I'm never shifting this.
How the turns have tabled.
Right?
I know you've lost my line.
That hurts so much. But we can all agree that the line about items is irrelevant, right?
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
Jumba Jookiba, 8 cost, inkable, 4/5, 2 lore. For each character you have in play, you pay 1 less to play this character. Whenever this character quests, you may remove all damage from chosen character. So I think realistically, this probably costs 5 or 6 by the time you're getting him out. Yes, maybe less. You could potentially pay him for 2, but I think if we want to be realistic, this costs 5 or 6 to play. So let's say he's 5. Let's be generous and say he costs 5 for a 4/5/2 lore that when he quests, you can remove all damage from chosen character. I still don't love that. I still think that that's like a mid-C for me.
Willow?
What do you guys think?
I honestly agree with you. I think in like a dream world where you have a wide board, he's great. But no, I think he's like a C for me as well.
Yeah, so if I wrote down specifically, this is a 5-cost character on average, and a 5-cost character should have 11 stat points if it quests for 2.
Yeah.
So you're giving up 2 stat points for his questing ability, so I gave it a C. It's just one of those middle-of-the-road cards.
Awesome. I'd put him here, but do we have any...
No. Yeah.
I know you won't. I'm going to ask Willow. Willow's the reasonable one here. Willow, where do you...
Where you had him, I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've stopped listening.
My jaw actually hurts from laughing, so this is great.
I love it. I think we can all agree on this one. Willow, would you like to...
Hey, I know the people who revealed this card. They're great. Okay.
I also know the people that told us why it's an Ember.
Yeah. Okay. This is Raging Storm in action, which is 8 cost uninkable. Banish all characters, or as Baker would say, Raging Storm. So, going into the F tier. What do we think, boys?
Yeah.
This one's an F for me. I know you're shocked.
I'm shocked.
I know. I love my 8 cost.
But can we just say, pause for a moment. We're going to give the channels at the end of the video, but make sure you go watch the reveal. And I got educated today. I watched the video on why it's an Amber. I'm not saying I agree, but I appreciated that we got educated on why it was an Amber.
We had to do our detective work there.
Yes. All right.
Before we do the next one, I do think I have to slip out.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. I was hoping to have a little bit
I'm
more
going to
time.
hold down the fort for you. I'm going to stay strong in the
Please
face
stay strong.
of Dick's madness.
You can make up whatever reason for why I had to leave.
Couldn't handle Mr. Burns anymore. She's actually sick of him.
Yeah, no, I'm truly so sorry. I'll explain more later. But please have as much fun. I hope I didn't rush you guys too much. Make him work for it, Mr. Burns. Extend that video length, okay? Fight for it. But yeah, he can do the thing. He knows our socials. Again, so sorry to run. I'll talk more, but and also feel free to have him on without me literally anytime, because this is his bread and butter. So like, if you ever want to really get into it.
Around?
Oh, of course, yeah. No, that's the implied way, but no, really, like I just so you know, that we've done this together, I feel free to have him on because he's so knowledgeable about Limited. And if you guys do a content creator pod,
give yourself more credit.
I'm trying.
Based on what I've seen so far today, I think
you're right. I'm cooking a little
credit.
bit.
I try to tell her.
But that being said, if we do a content creator pod, I don't think we're joking about that. We'd love to help you do that. And even if I can't play in it, I'll also cast it for you because I think it would be so fun to see you guys go head to head. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much. I'll be in touch since I have to kind of run in the middle of it. But thanks for having me, guys. Good luck on the rest of it.
Talk soon. Bye. All right. Well, now that the best of us is left,
it's true. Now
it's
we
just
have
two bitter old men haggling about 8 drops.
All right. So I'm on Stegmutt, right?
Yep.
Stegmutt, 8 costs, inkable, 7/7. For each item card in your discard, you pay 1 less to play this character. It quests for 2, and whenever you play this character, you may put 3 items from your discard on the bottom of your deck in any order. If you do, deal 3 damage to chosen character. So I gave this one a D because it's inkable, and I might have 7 uninkables I want to take out of my deck.
I mean, that's fair, right? Sometimes I will give inkable cards an F just to say stay far, far away, which I would normally do, but I think given that argument, I think that is fair. That if you need to purge some uninkables from your deck, this at least is ink. All right, I don't suppose you know how to pronounce this guy's name.
I think it's just Hamsterviel.
Okay, Dr. Hamsterviel. 8 cost inkable, 5/5/2 lore. For each alien character card in your discard, you pay 1 less to play this character. When you play this character, chosen opposing character can't challenge during their next turn. I think I made a note down here, but yeah, no, apparently I didn't. There's not a lot of aliens that are worthwhile in this set. Oh, my daughter's giving me a hug. I have to Yeah, there's just not a lot of alien characters that you actually want to play. Even if you do, the likelihood of there being any in your discard or enough to make this worthwhile. I would need this to cost like 5 before I'd be interested in this, so it is just ahead of Stegmutt for me.
Yeah, agree.
All right. Now we're rocking and rolling. See, she missed the good stuff where we're agreeing.
I know.
I think we might agree on this one, too. Go ahead, sir.
All right, so 9 cost, Inkable, 5/5, Eeyore. For each exerted character in play, you may pay 1 less to play this character. Quest for 2. When you play this character, for each opposing player, you may choose a character of theirs they can't ready at the start of their next turn. And I gave this one a B.
Yeah. I've got it at B-.
I think it's super unrealistic that both you and your opponent are like people think like, oh, this is gonna cost 0.
Oh,
it's
no.
like, yeah, never gonna happen. I think that like
5
it will probably cost 6 or 5.
Yeah.
And it feels achievable.
Yeah, the fact that it counts yours as well, right? Because we had the 9-drop in Shimmering Skies that count your opposing exerted characters. But I think the fact that you can exert some of yours before you play this down, I think 5's pretty reasonable. If I'm getting a 5/5/2 lore that freezes one of my opponent's characters for a turn for 5, I'm really happy with that.
What's kind of crazy is this is also good when you're winning, obviously. Because you're turning things sideways and you're playing it. It's fine when you're losing.
Yeah,
they have things turned sideways and you play it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love this card.
Yeah. Basically, the only time where this is going to cost a little bit more is where you're going to want to turn your characters sideways to challenge and banish your opposing characters and potentially trade, in which case you're going to have to play this before you start challenging. But even then, if this costs 6, still pretty solid. And at 5 and above, this is definitely in that B-B territory. All right, I thought we might agree on that. I'm like, unless you've got it as an A, we're in the same boat. You know what? I think I'd even be willing to put this above Copper, because I know you would. Yeah. So, dig it. All right, Olaf, Snowman of Action. 9 cost, Inkable, 4/4/2 lore. For each action card in your discard, pay 1 less. When you play this, each opponent loses 1 lore. This is down in Dr. Hamsterviel territory for me.
Yeah.
Above.
Yeah.
Slightly.
I gave this one a D. I said it needs to cost 5 to even be baseline. There's just no way you're reducing it to 5, realistically.
You should have like 4 action cards in your deck. So unless this is one of the last cards that you play, and you've got the stolliest of ones. All right, bring us home, sir.
Oh, Grandma Tala. Oh, we forgot to do this in our 6 drops.
Right. This is a 6 drop.
For some reason, it says it costs 12, but it is an uninkable 12 cost 6/6 quest for 2. For each card in your inkwell, you may pay 1 less to play this character, which for most of the viewers out there, as much as I've loved to like talk about my what I think about Limited, I think for most of the viewers out there, they should follow exactly what you say.
No, none of that. Cut that part. That's editing out.
No? Well, this is mostly going to be a 6 cost 6/6.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I'm going to give that
you
one...
You might have it as a 5 cost.
Yeah, and then I just don't use the other ink anyway. Right. So it actually costs 7 for me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I gave this
depending on what
an
turn
F.
you draw this, it costs 6 or 7. Yeah, so what do we give an uninkable 6 cost 6/6/2 lore?
Yeah, I gave that an F. If it just said that, it wouldn't be something that I'd want to put in my deck if I could help it.
So I will say before I did the math on how many good uninkables were in this set, I gave it a C-, but now that I know, I absolutely give it an F. And in fact, I would probably put it below these two. There's a chance that you get some functionality out of the discard, so... Cool. We did it! What do you think? How depressed are you at Space Cows and Shenpo right now, and Darkwing?
It's fine. I am. When the next limited format comes out, I'm not even gonna remember this one. I'm living in the moment.
That's what we love about limited. It's a fresh start every few months.
Yeah, and I'm never married to any one strategy. I could open, all tempo, low cost characters, and that's what I'm gonna do. I try not to sit down. You want to know what your archetypes and what your plans could be, but you don't want to be married to them before you open your first pack.
Yep.
And that's something that a lot of people need to come to realize. I know people that they only play certain inks in constructed, so that's all they'll draft as well. Because they're just like, I'm comfortable with the things that have these effects. It's what I'm used to. I say, get out of your comfort zone, get out of your head, assess every card, and have some fun.
Was it you that drafted like all of the Queen of Hearts and Fabled?
Yes. So I have a couple of Queen of Hearts stories. One was during Rise of the Floodborn. I wish Willow was still here because it was at our locals in Florida when I was staying in Florida, and at some point I've got like 3 or 4 of them, and I say, listen, everyone, I've won draft every week. You have to stop passing me these. Like, at least let me try to work for it. I was like, if you see a Queen of Hearts, you got to take it.
Yeah.
And someone else ended up with 12 Queen of Hearts in their deck. And not a single one of them was the shift one.
Yeah.
It cost 5. And I felt awful. He had so many uninkable 2-1s that quest for 2. He had so many rush 2-2s. And I tried helping. I really did. And then, in Fabled release, I got past the Queen of Hearts, like, 4th pick. And I'm like, guys, I'm going to say it up front. This Queen of Hearts is too good. It's probably the best card in the set. Please just take it. Yeah. And
I think it might be like in competition for one of the best limited cards they've ever printed.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
All right. Let's tell the people, thank you again so much, Dick, and thank you, Willow, who was here. Tell the people where they can find you.
You can find us on all things Lore Chronicles. I am exclusively making content on Lore Chronicles or with Lore Chronicles. Thank you so much, Heath, for having both of us. And so we're on X, Twitter, Facebook. I think we have an Instagram. She's better at this than I am, but mostly YouTube. And we try to make a YouTube video once a week about what our audience wants to hear about. So thank you so much.
Nice. No, it was a pleasure. I'm so glad to have both of you on. Thank you, Willow, for making the time. I know you had a really busy week, but I appreciate it all. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for checking us out. We got one more video tomorrow, which are going to be our quick tips, quick hits video, just to kind of wrap things up, put a bow on the set, and get you ready and primed for your pre-release weekend events. Hope you have a blast, and we'll check you all next time. Bye, everybody.